Hello everyone, my name is Michael, and welcome to another book club preview. Today, we're going to be looking at The Lost Hero, and we're looking at chapter 11. And this chapter is all about Leo. So, to start, we have Leo, and Leo hears all this information about Jason and Piper, and he decides that if he wants to join this quest, he needs to find some flying transportation. So he goes looking for the dragon. So immediately after the conversation at the campfire, he leaves, and he's looking for the dragon. So he goes off into the woods where the dragon is supposedly held. Now, as he's in the woods, he's kind of reminiscing, which is another way to say remembering his past when he was a child. And so he starts to think about his Tia Calada, sorry. And so he's thinking about this woman, and he realizes that she's actually Hera. And as he's thinking about these different things, Leo's kind of remembering like, oh, this is the woman that tried to kill him several times in his life as he was young. But then as he's starting to remember the stories more accurately, he starts to realize that she wasn't really trying to kill him, that she was actually his guardian, or maybe even like godmother in a way, he even says. And he realizes that Hera wasn't just trying to protect him, but she was testing him. She was trying to see if Leo was actually the child that was supposed to fight on her behalf. And so we have, I think the first story Leo talks about, he's 2 years old, so he's just really young, almost still a baby. And Hera puts him in a fire. She puts him in a fireplace. And he thinks it's just like a little crib, so he's just kind of lying there feeling happy. But it's actually a fire. And when his mom sees Leo inside this fireplace with all these, sparks and ashes flying around, she gets really scared, and she grabs Leo and she burns her hands. And then Hera disappears, or his Tia Calada. And so Leo's starting to remember these different stories about Hera. And he realizes some important things about her, that she wasn't really trying to kill him. He also takes a long moment remembering his mom's death. And this is important because, Leo's mom is a mechanic, and she forgets her keys, and so she goes back into the workshop to find them. And while she's in there, a figure appears. And this figure looks a lot like his Tia. But when Leo says, Tia, is that you? The figure turns and says, oh, no, I'm not your guardian. But I can see how we could look alike. But actually this character is something else. And that person is actually trying to hurt Leo. And when Leo is being taunted by this character, and this person says, how are you going to stop me, little one? And Leo says, he's only 8 years old. He says, like this. And, he shoots out this fire, and the person disappears, and all the fire goes to the workshop. And so Leo is actually the reason that his mother dies. And so he kind of has that guilt. He's the reason, because he started the fire. But at the end of this chapter, Leo he still blames this other person, right? And he kind of vows for revenge. He's like, you tried to break my spirit, but I remember you, and I'm going to break your face. Well, something like that. So this is kind of the summary of chapter 11. We have some vocabulary words that we want to look at. So in this chapter, a lot in Leo's chapters, we have some Spanish words. And one of the first ones is tia. Tia simply means aunt. So when he says Tia Calada, he's just saying Aunt Calada. And oftentimes he'll just say Tia, which is just aunt. Another word is banished. He wonders, why didn't his mom banish Hera, or his tia, after Hera was trying to hurt him. Banished means to force someone to leave someplace so they can't ever come back. This was a punishment, maybe in the old times, maybe a city had a person that did a crime, a really bad crime, but they didn't want to kill this person. And so they would banish them. They would say, you have to leave our village and you can never come back. And that was almost a death sentence a long time ago. Another word is rattlesnake. A rattlesnake is just a kind of snake. It on its tail, it has a rattle that shakes. And they're very common in America and South America. The next one is mijo. And this sound, it looks like it might be like mi jo, but this is a Spanish word, and in Spanish a J sound is an H sound. This is mijo. And mijo simply means son. And this could be your mom or father that calls you mijo, but also uncles and aunts, they will call you mijo, and even grandparents. So it's just kind of a kind of relationship connection, a title. And so his mom calls Leo mijo very often. And the last vocabulary word we have for this chapter is diablo. Diablo is another Spanish word, and it means devil. It has a lot of meaning in this word, but diablo usually has something to do with fire and trouble. And after Leo's mom dies, the other family members, they don't want to take Leo in. They don't want to adopt him because they say he's a diablo. He's a fire child, or a strange child, or a problem child, or even could be evil child. So they're scared of him and they don't want to take him in. And they also believe that Leo set the fire and killed his own mom. But they don't have any evidence of that, but that's why he's not arrested. But they kind of have this idea, oh, maybe this child is really crazy. Some discussion questions I'd like you to think about. The first one is, what is the worst test you've ever had? Okay, Hera tests Leo in different ways. Poke this rattlesnake, draw these pictures, different things. But how about you? Like in school, or maybe your mom or father or friend. What was the hardest test you ever had? I want to hear about it. And this one's a little tough, but have you ever hurt someone on accident? And you know, we all hurt people in our life, and a lot of times it's an accident. I remember we're jumping on a trampoline with my friend, and he jumped in the air, and as he jumped, he hit me right in the face. Boom! And so I had this big black eye, and he hurt me on accident, but he still hurt me. And what about you? Have you ever hurt anyone on accident? Or you could say, like me, has anyone ever hurt you on accident? I want to know about that story. Tell me about it. The last discussion question that I want to ask you for this chapter is, who do you think is the weirdest person in your family? Okay? That's a pretty tough one. You don't want to talk about your family members. But usually in our family, our aunts and uncles and cousins, there's probably one member that's a little strange. I know for my friends and I, when I was in college, I was always the weird friend. I don't know why, but I just thought differently, I acted differently, I had different values. And so people usually thought I was a little weird when they first met me. And then slowly, as they got to know me more, they found out that I was really cool, and they enjoyed being with me. But we can all be weird, and that's okay. It's not necessarily a bad thing to be weird. But who do you think is the weirdest person in your family? Well, that ends our discussion for Chapter 11. I can't wait to hear you guys and listen to more of your ideas when we meet together. This has been another book club preview. Thank you so much. Bye. Hey, if you have any questions about the video today, please feel free to leave a comment in the comment section. If you had any other vocabulary words that you wanted to know what they meant, let me know. And also, if you're interested in maybe joining one of these book clubs, please leave a comment and I'll get back to you. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.